Hi, how are you doing today?
Hi there, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well too.
I usually listen K-pop. I usually listen K-pop, and I guess that's hit my dopamine system. So I changed the music I listen. Like I how can I say I like classic better now.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Sometimes switching up the type of music you listen to can definitely have a different effect on your mood and your brain. So, if classical is giving you a more relaxed vibe and it's working for you, that's awesome.
Does it really affect my brain system? Like my when I listen K-pop music, I feel like I'm kind of how can I say um little bit up. But when I listen classical music, I feel like I could be calm down.
Yes, absolutely. Music can have a pretty big impact on how your brain responds. So, with something like K pop, which is usually pretty upbeat and energetic, it can definitely give you that kind of up feeling and a little dopamine boost. On the other hand, classical music tends to be more calming and it can help you feel more relaxed. So, it's totally normal that you're noticing those differences.
Do you think there is an addiction in music, in type of music, like uh, way too much I can listen K-pop and this affect my brain system like badly, and classical music can affect my brain system in a good way.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible that certain types of music can feel a bit like a habit or even a little addictive just because of the way they make you feel. If K pop is giving you a lot of stimulation and you start to rely on that to feel good, it's a bit like any other thing that gives you a dopamine rush. But it's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's really throwing off your balance. And on the flip side, yeah, classical music might have a more soothing effect, which can definitely be a positive influence on your mood and your brain. So it's all about finding a good balance that works for you.
What do you think is better, balancing between K-pop and classical music, or just quitting K-pop and listen only classical music?
I think it really comes down to what feels right for you. For most people, a balance is probably the way to go. You don't necessarily have to quit K pop entirely if you enjoy it, but mixing in some classical music or other calming genres can just give you a nice variety. That way, you get the best of both worlds without feeling like you have to give up something you love.
Here's the thing, like when I hear K-pop music, I feel like I wanna play some game, and this is kind of time wasting. So I quit and listening K-pop music. Therefore, so that I cannot play games.
I see what you mean. So basically, listening to K pop kind of makes you want to jump into gaming mode, and then you feel like you're losing time on that. That's a pretty good self awareness moment. So if switching away from K pop helps you not get into that gaming loop and helps you focus on other things, then that sounds like a pretty good strategy. So, yeah, if that works for you, then go for it.
How can I quit playing game? Like I'm when I'm working, I can't stop I can't stop thinking about playing games.
Yeah, that can be really tough, especially if the thought of daeming just keeps popping up while you're trying to focus on Yerk. One approach is to set up some kind of small reward system for yourself. For example, you could say, hey, after I finish this task or after I work for an hour, then I get a short break and I can play a game for a few minutes. That way, you're not completely cutting it out all at once, but you're sort of giving yourself a little structured time to enjoy it without letting it take over. And over time, that can help you kind of regain control. It's all about finding those little steps that work for you.
I know in my head that game is not helpful to my entire life, and I know I should work harder, but how can I say? I just can't quit it. Is this addiction?
It's really understandable, and you're definitely not alone in feeling that way. A lot of people struggle with that kind of pull towards games or anything that feels really fun and rewarding in the short term, even if they know it's not super helpful in the long run. So, yeah, it can feel a bit like a mild addiction or just a really strong habit. The important part is that you're aware of it, and that's already a big step. So, just take it one step at a time, and if you keep working on little strategies to cut back bit by bit, you'll definitely find a balance that works for you.
And what about this? When I have lunch, and right after I just fall asleep. Is this like a sugar heating system, or I don't know. Maybe my insulin system is not that great to keep me from sleeping around. So I don't want to sleep at after lunch, like afternoon sleep. How can I say?
Yeah, that post lunch sleepiness is super common, so you're definitely not alone in that. It can definitely be related to what you eat. A heavier meal or a meal with a lot of carbs can sometimes cause that sort of blood sugar spike and then a drop that makes you feel sleepy. It could also just be that natural afternoon slump that a lot of people get. If you want to stay more awake, maybe try having a lighter lunch or including more protein and veggies. And sometimes just a quick walk after lunch can help wake you up. But yeah, it's pretty normal, and it doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with your insulin system. It's just one of those things that a lot of people deal with.
This post-lunch sleep is because of carbs, carbs only.
Well, carbs can definitely play a role, but they're not the only factor. It can be a combination of things. For example, just the natural circadian rhythm in the afternoon can make people feel a bit sleepy. Also, if you've had a bigger meal in general, or even if you're just a bit tired from earlier in the day, that can all add up. So, carbs can contribute, but it's usually a mix of different factors that cause that afternoon sleepiness.
Afternoon sleepiness is bad itself, or if I control the amount of sleepiness, is this can be good, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you can manage it so that the sleepiness is more under your control, like maybe just having a quick power nap if you really need it, or just finding a way to stay alert, then it can definitely be a good thing. It's all about finding a balance that works for your day and your schedule. So, yeah, managing it in a way that fits your routine can absolutely be beneficial.
But what if I cannot manage the amount of sleepiness? Should I not take a nap?
Well, if you find that you really can't manage the sleepiness and it's hitting you hard, sometimes a short nap is actually okay. A quick 10 or 15-minute nap can actually boost your energy without making you groggy. So you don't have to force yourself to avoid it entirely if it's really tough. It's just about not letting it turn into a really long nap that messes with your whole day. So a little nap can be a tool rather than a problem, as long as you keep it short and sweet.
What if I sleep 2 or 3 hours every day after lunch?
Yeah, if you end up sleeping 2 or 3 hours every day after lunch, that can definitely throw off your whole schedule and probably your nighttime sleep too. So if that's happening, it might be a good idea to look at your overall sleep routine or maybe what you're eating or how you're structuring your day. But yeah, it's definitely better to keep those naps shorter so that you don't end up in a longer nap cycle. That way you can stay more balanced.